So this one then came about, part of my job. I work in the area of eating disorders and body image. And I would do a lot of school presentations. And I mainly, oh no, I always did secondary school for the last 10 years or something like that. A friend of mine is a primary school teacher. And she was kind of in the car saying to me one day, look, you need to do something for primary schools. Like it's a really big issue around body image and, the way kids are talking about their bodies. And I was very dismissive of it. But then she kind of kept coming back and saying, look, you need to do something. So eventually I put together a program that was, really suitable for that kind of age group. So you're
Mm.
talking about 10, 11, 12, using a cartoon. The little cartoon, his name is Alf, and I've been using him on Instagram for the last few years. So I wanted to make it really child friendly, not very
Yeah.
intimidating. It's a big topic, but how do you make it, child appropriate? Brought it into schools. That did really well. And then being
Yeah.
in the schools then really showed me how much of an issue body image was. It was just it's phenomenal how many kids
Okay.
are not feeling too good about their bodies.
Okay.
So a parent reached out and asked me would I be able to make some worksheets, and the worksheets turned into a book, if I'm honest, because I couldn't stop once I started. So yeah, so it was kind of an accident,
That's
if I'm
brilliant. Yeah.
honest. Mm.
Yeah. Or I think it's called in science blue skies thinking.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, the
right.
big discovery that's found by accident is blue skies thinking.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It
Yeah,
was. It was an
yeah,
accident.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
very good. And so, tell me about the program that you do for schools. What's the program look like?
So I have two. One is secondary, one is primary. So the secondary school one is understanding eating disorders. So it's very much like what it says in the tin. The primary school one is called Reflections. So it just kind of follows the journey of that little character Alf, and he just really
Mm.
battles with his not really feeling great, and he tries to change his appearance. So because we're talking about kids here, he sees like a bunch of peas and he thinks, well, if I paint myself, so it's you're
I
going in on a
see.
very sort of like, kind of a sneaky way, like, but if he paints himself green, then he'll fit in and everything. But so very much opening a discussion around why that won't work with the
Okay.
kids, and it just really follows through the slides and everything and through little activities, the his journey. But it's also getting the children to really go inward and how are they feeling and where do feelings turn up in their bodies and stuff, and the relationship between wanting to change yourself and as a result of actually how you feel as opposed to what you look like. So there's an awful lot in it around thinking and feeling, because that's really where
Okay.
eating disorders come from. They don't
Okay.
necessarily come from media. They come from within.
Yeah. So, so with body image then and body image issues, what one of the challenges that body image can lead to is eating disorders.
Yeah.
Could you go into a bit more depth about kind of how that looks like for a child, how a child can progress from, say, having body image issues into something more serious like an eating disorder?
Yeah, well, I suppose look, there's something very different about having poor body image and then going and actually doing something about it.
Okay.
So when the body image is really poor, there is a belief there that, well, if I change my appearance, then that'll make it okay. But what you're really saying is, I feel uncomfortable, and a way of getting out of the discomfort is to change the body. And let's face it, in the society we live in, you're getting validation for that. So as children turn into teenagers and everything, they start losing weight, they start getting an awful lot of sort of compliments and um feedback really from
Okay.
society, and that really fuels it then, because their self-esteem starts to be built and their self-worth starts to be built on their appearance. So it's a really tough one. And then unfortunately there's so many facets in an eating disorder. There's so many levels to it. It's highly addictive. It becomes
Okay.
a solution. This is how I regulate my emotions now. So when I feel bad, I'm going to restrict food, or maybe throw up food or over exercise or whatever it is. So you become dependent on it then as a way of you
Yeah.
regulating your emotions. But I
Wow.
think one of the things that I think people don't realize as well is that it is really fueled by anxiety. That like we can't blame media 100% on, media causes eating disorders, because some people don't get them. So some
Sure.
people will
Sure.
never develop it. But
Sure.
really, like, if there is that anxiety inside of you, that can very easily turn into anxiety as a protector. Anxiety tells you to do things or not go to places as a way of protecting you, and don't eat food. And then you'll
Right.
be okay, and
Okay.
you'll fit in, and people will like you better. And also, it really it does start long before the eating
Yeah.
disorder behavior, so to speak.
Wow. Okay. So there's a huge societal element, but at the same time, there's individual differences within that. So some children might feel body image pressure, but
Mm.
not all children with body image thoughts will go on to have disorders.